the troops, they remember you like anything. It's all speaks about your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you very much.
not only this, once you were in Hyderabad doing your PhD and further degrees, your knowledge has enhanced like anything.
Because like recently I've started like 2 3 years back when I was struggling, I started my corporate journey, and I was struggling on various aspects, like it everything was new to me. So I was looking for a mentor, and then I found you on an Instagram live session, and from there then, like, you have been there for me for every situation. I just think like, okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. I'm restarting the show from where we left. What we spoke was the leadership style and how the leadership style flourishes. How as a leader, you can grow. You and me are natural leaders, and all of you who have joined are fabulous leaders already. But there's so much of scope that we can grow. Everyone knows about leadership, but actual leadership की करना क्या है, hands on क्या होगा, that's where the challenge is. And that is why the leadership feels कि नीचे वाला कोई कर नहीं रहा है. Managers feel that company is not doing anything. Therefore, who is responsible in the leadership, and why is this gap? Let me tell you a very interesting story from army. When I go for patrols, or when I go for ambushes, or in counter terrorist operation, now that Delhi blast has taken place, I can with confidence say that we had the privilege of killing a huge number of terrorists in one such operation. When I was to go in and the exchange of fire was coming, there was a gap. I stood up, and just across the heavy bushes in the jungles, we couldn't see across. And within just about 5 to 7 meters, the guy got up, the terrorist got up, and he fired at me or the group. But before he could fire and that bullet gets me, my buddy and my officer, they jumped on me, and three of us rolled down 10 meters. Meanwhile, the other officer got up, Devinder, he says, "Sir, जिंदा पकड़ूं कि गोली मार दूं?" मैंने कहा, सोच क्या रहा है, मार. If that fellow is firing at you, how can you spare? You see what happened? And he said, "No, I will not kill him." He killed him in his thighs despite the bushes in front. We caught him, and then we interrogated and got a lot of information. So what I intend saying is that unless you grow your subordinate, unless you build that kind of trust, the leadership doesn't grow. If I don't train them to meet such kind of crisis, I'm talking of the crisis where life and death is in danger. You all are in the corporate where profit and loss is the only issue. Life is not at stake. Life, you and me, will continue, but we need to grow over this. We need to understand that 85% of businesses say that diversity drives the most innovative idea. What is the diversity? Is your and my thinking and getting things done. 80% of workers indicated inclusion was more important than choosing an employer. You have the choice of hiring and firing. I don't have a choice for hiring and firing. जो जवान आएगा उसको रखूंगा. और अभी अग्निवीर scheme has come. There's so much of halla bulla. Let me take our decisions. And therefore, what is more important is whomsoever you hire, how do you groom him to be a leader? हर इंसान बुरा नहीं होता. Only 5% बुरे होते. Rest can be made. It is how you make it is what is important. And 30% of the company says with inclusion practices, 30% higher revenues per person can be generated. See the immense amount of potential that exists. And it can happen. And therefore, the role of leadership is the most important part. Now, leader who saved me my life that evening when the terrorist fired, he was much junior to me, not even an officer. My buddy and another officer. So they were leader in their own context. So in your case, your not only operation head or finance head or the marketing head is a leader, but every shop floor worker is a leader. You have to understand that he's a leader, and you have to train him like a leader. Then only you say that the entire company is on the roll. What Jack Ma does or how his company grows is because of this role. Everyone is part, integrated, included, and then it grows. Remember, 79% of the employees quit because of lack of appreciation. 69% of employees say that they would work harder if their efforts was realized, recognized. I have Pramila with me, and she's seen this firsthand. Pramila, would you like to say that your efforts not recognized despite she putting in 200%? That's how the leadership goes. And then she says, okay, if that's the case, yaar, why? How long? 50% of the workers leave. They left a role to get away from a bad manager. So if your leader is bad, things can be done. Therefore, what's the problem? The problem is between the perception and the reality. जो आप सोचते हो और जो करते हो उसमें फर्क है. Most of our leaders say that we are people focused leaders. We look after people. No. When I did a lot of such researches and experiments with corporate leaders, military leaders, I realized they are highly directive, authoritative, autocratic. कहने को people focused है, पर actually है नहीं. We have Mr. RK, वो शायद अभी ज्वाइन कर लेंगे. He's a very senior bank manager at the level of a deputy regional manager. But he says, yes sir, मैं तो खुद डायरेक्टिव करता रहा, मैं तो पीपल फोकस बन ही नहीं पाया. सोचता था कि मैं बहुत अच्छा हूं. These people are there or they will be joining. They think that you are strategic thinkers, but most of the time you are hands on. ये आरके बोलता है कि सर जाकर के खुद ही करना पड़ता है, कोई नहीं करता. If कोई नहीं करता, then where is your strategic thinking? How are your line of chain of command coming up? And why are you operating at tactical level? We need to get to operational, and from operational go to the strategy. Empowering leaders are actually micromanaging. कहने को empowering है, सिखाता हूं. But they monitor every bit, every point, every aspect. गलती नहीं हो जाए, loss नहीं हो जाए. It cannot happen unless you accept mistakes. So we need not micromanage or see these things. We just have to identify that this gap exists. 88% of the Indian leaders promoted because of technical skills and not the leadership abilities. What is it? Inclusiveness required is the leadership abilities. How many of these are trained? Only 12% receive formal leadership training. And to get away from the bad managers or bad environment, less than 1.5 years is required, and that's why attrition rate is so high. One reason that can be understood is, yes, everyone wants a promotion the fastest, so you jump. But after all, he's a worker, he's a human being, he has a heart, he has a mind, and if you put them together, grow him, he will not leave. And therefore it's not the capability that's the problem. The problem is you and me need to know how to lead, be a great leader. And I've given these sources, SHRM, you can see that. And when you and me are working in tough conditions, this is what I was saying, Kala Pathar, 2013 in the area of Tawang, Arunachal, beyond that. We operated 15,000 and above. I can't be sitting in a cozy place and say कि भैया मैं कर दूंगा. My coziest place is what you see here, कि एक सोफा लगा के पहाड़ों के अंदर बीच में बैठ करके I am talking to them and appreciating or talking about all these things. I see a chat coming in. Yeah, how to speak bitter truth, authority of situations. All right, we will take this question, Dhananjay. Keep jotting down. Let me finish and then I'll take on. Otherwise, I'll miss out on this. Now, this is the important aspect that I was coming to, that we've realized कि भाई साहब कहने से leadership नहीं होता. Leadership होगा करने से. और ये पता होना चाहिए कि क्या करना है. So what I will be talking is predominantly styles. We all know these styles, but I'll just talk about them, then go on to how to use, when to use, how to make an adaptive framework that you can use in life, and a tool that you can use it for tomorrow. All of us know that there can be a directive style of leadership. You can call it authoritative, you can call it autocratic, you can call by any means, but directive is you give a direction and somebody does it. When is it applicable? I'll talk about it a little. Strategic is you think beyond horizons, you think beyond 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, make a plan and have it executed. That would be strategic rather than you thinking यार कल क्या करना है. If an MD says कि कल क्या करना है, there is a problem. I very clearly say there is a problem. But a shop floor worker says कि आज नहीं सर 3 साल बाद में करूंगा, there is a problem. Hi Umrao, heartiest welcome. I see my friend joining, Umrao. So we'll continue with this session. Empowering is when you empower somebody else, you train somebody else, but empowering and training should not take more than required time. And what percentage of time we spend in training requires to be identified. And collaborative is something like democratic. You say your word, I say my word, and together we do something. Let me go deep into all these. When you say directive style, that means clear directions, and the action has to take place on that direction, and based on that action there has to be a result. And all of us in the military or corporate, we are result oriented, and therefore the line of instruction has to be very, very clearly specified. And if I do it, excellent, well done, appreciation or no appreciation. But if I don't do it, I'm accountable, and I pay for whatever follies occur because of my direction. Or if I'm a leader, somebody else is under me and he says a direction, he goes wrong, the responsibility is mine. How often do we say कि गलती उसने किया, जिम्मेवारी मैं लूंगा. कॉर्पोरेट में नहीं होता. कॉर्पोरेट में ये होता है कि भाई साहब 3 उंगलियां आपकी तरफ, एक ही मेरी तरफ. Otherwise, when you point one to somebody else, you know 3 are towards us. And therefore, where do we use this directive style leadership? We use in the army, हम लोग ये डायरेक्टिव इस्तेमाल करते हैं कि जी हमने प्लान कर लिया, ऑपरेशन प्लान कर लिया, आई एम लाइकली टू गेट इनटू द मिलिटेंट एक्शन एंड somebody is likely to spoil my program because of his slow speed, because of his ill preparedness, because of his making a noise, or any of those things which are unacceptable. Now that's the point. I have to be very, very, very decisive, directive and authoritative to say, partner, either you come or get out of my way, because I need a fast decision making. I need an action to be done to get my results. Similarly, if in your company you have to go for marketing, it has to be done today. That means it has to be done today. And if somebody doesn't work it, you might as well push him. And that pushing is what is giving him very clear directions. वेरी वेरी क्लियर अकाउंटेबिलिटी. आप ये करेंगे नहीं तो भरेंगे. Crisis effectiveness. Whenever there is a crisis, that's where you need an autocratic leader. That's where you need a leader who can give direction and be very strong about this, and be very strong to execute this. आपने डायरेक्टिव दे दिया लेकिन काम नहीं हुआ, कोई मतलब नहीं है. Now the challenge with this or limitation with this is that such a leader will always be wanted in the organization कि भैया वो ही करवा सकता है. So he is required only in the criticality, not in the normal sense. Normal sense, you don't have to be directive. Now directive doesn't give time for innovation कि भाई आज practice कर ले, तैयारी कर ले, experiment कर ले, tomorrow we will do this. Or it may cause turnover. If you can't deliver, you may need to go in. So when do you use? Critical situations. New managers joining, new recruits joining. Whenever the performance is not coming, result orientation है तो अच्छा है. If that is not there, then the performance doesn't give you, you might as well take different action. Time sensitive project, because you need it in a time frame, and therefore you have to be very strong about it. And where do you avoid it? Wherever the experienced professionals are there. When people like Ashwinji or Pramila are there, they're highly experienced. I don't have to direct them to do it. I just have to share with them. Sir, this is how it is to be done. Madam Pramila, this is how it is to be done. And they are experts at it. They'll do it. Whenever there's an innovation required, it takes time. Research and development takes time. You can't be directive कि कल सुबह तक तैयार कर देना. वो innovation नहीं हो सकता. And when you have to prepare future leaders, it takes time. It doesn't happen कि कल सुबह तू बढ़िया leader बन जा. That doesn't happen. So having understood this, let's go on and understand what is strategic leader. If directive is on the spot, immediate decision, immediate results. Strategic says future focused, plan well ahead, anticipate, plan your vision, mission, objectives and actions. Build systems around this. All things should lie in a streamlined manner. All important things should be done in time, and there should be no urgency that you create. And therefore, the strategic leader would think beyond the normal horizons. There has to be a long term purpose, and you achieve this. What happens in such case? Because the objectives will be achieved in long time frame, the objective looks very far off कि आज नहीं है, and therefore what is immediately required today sometimes gets missed, and it takes time to get executed, and therefore it's a slow action. And therefore when you listen more, you do more. When you listen more, you understand more. And this listening itself is a great quality of strategic thinkers who keep absorbing things from the entire world, keep learning and through listening and gradually developing their own style to go beyond. Right. I'll look at this message a little later, please. How do you use strategic leadership? Long term, transformational, overall, overhauling करना है. I know, again I'm quoting Mr. Ashwin. So Ashwin ji has changed the future course of chemical industry in India. Long term, transformational, ever changing for permanence, and make systems that will become scalable. Position yourself so that your strategy works not for today, but it works forever. How it fails you is if you apply that strategy for what is to be done tomorrow, you'll fail. If there is a crisis tomorrow, you will fail. If the team needs help, you will fail. And therefore, in order to understand that what needs to be done tomorrow, can I use directive? Or is there another thought of leadership? We will talk about this. So when I went this April to Agartala, they asked me to talk about the future course of action for Northeastern region. What will happen to Northeast India beyond 2030 or 2035. So when I spoke, the co-commander, the military commanders and the civil commanders all were there. I gave my viewpoint of couple of scenarios as to how we shall tackle the entire Northeast with China on one side, Bangladesh on one side, Myanmar on one side, and how will this play out. That was also the time when I could interact with the young lawyers in that region to look beyond the horizon. So when you build such kind of things, it takes time. It does take time. Now the third kind is empowering. When you empower somebody, it takes again time to develop somebody, to give somebody power to grow, train, developing talent. Create it requires ownership. When a new recruit joins my unit, or a new employee or a manager joins your corporate, he cannot be developed overnight. First thing is he has to be taken in the fold. The trust has to be developed. The give and take has to be very high. Engagement has to be very high. The learning process slow, but it develops the future leader. That's how you empower others. You have to spend certain time every day on empowering one or more people in your organization. If you're spending that 30 minutes or 1 hour every day, sure enough, your organization is going to grow and it will skyrocket. Once again, when you do this, it's a slow process. You can't take your hands off from training and developing the leaders. And at the same time, you have to run the organization also. And it should not at any time create confusion or chaos. How do you use it? When do you use it? Develop high potentials. Building self-sufficiency. Culture of innovation. कि भाई कर, मैं तेरे साथ हूं. And when this trust develops, it happens. Using the expertise of other leaders within your organization to grow their peers, to grow their subordinates, is a great way to empower this. We have in the army very set protocol that I have to grow my 2 juniors to my level minimum. So when a basketball player is about to retire, we tell him कि अब तेरे जैसे 2 तैयार हुए कि नहीं national वाले. Similarly, in the corporate, before you leave, the succession planning, we talk so much about this. It has to be part of it, and it is nothing but empowering. Now, empowering doesn't work where again, wherever the situation is critical, like strategic leaders. This also doesn't work on day-to-day basis. It doesn't work with the new teams, new people, new employees. Whenever there is a performance and result orientation problems, it doesn't work. It cannot work in the timelines कि कल सुबह तक empower हो जाएगा. No, that doesn't happen. It takes time. Therefore, it has to be inbuilt into the system. And when you inbuilt this entire thing, the empowering goes slow but steady. It happens. The fourth style is collaborative, where you build consensus, seek views, talk to each other, and then having taken the input, do the analysis. In addition to the head, use the heart also, and that happens. Where can it do? Wherever the strong relationship exists, it flourishes. You can take good decisions by taking good inputs from experts. And when good experts give you advice, it actually grows and the team becomes an excellent, and it gives you an inclusiveness in your growth. I see Murlidhar has joined. Hello, Mr. Murli. Heartiest welcome. Welcome, though slightly late, but it's all right. Where it doesn't work, collaborative leadership, like the empowering, is a slow process because you have to interact, talk, exchange ideas, and finally then grow it. Murli, request put your audio on mute. And whenever you go for collaboration, you can't have conflict. And therefore, in order to remain a goody good leader, you avoid conflict, you avoid argument, and it sometimes the performance suffers, the result suffers. And therefore, for a collaboration, you have to really weigh upwards with inputs from all without ruffling the feathers. You will always ruffle feathers. We can have a discussion on this little later. But how to manage that conflict is part of this. And you prioritize harmony over the results. Sometimes the results get diluted. They suffer because you have to take consensus, because you have to say take somebody else's notes. It's like political parties saying कि भाई इसको भी साथ में ले लो, उसको भी साथ में ले लो. As a result, the population suffers, facilities do not come down. In military, we don't follow this. We will take views, we take integrated thought process from everyone. We will talk, discuss, and when discussing, everyone is asked to contribute. And once we contribute, the leaders put their heads together and finally make a plan. And once that plan is made, whatever was my thinking, I shoulder that plan, I shoulder that wheel, and that brings us to the success. A lot of time people say ha kar lenge, but when it comes to execution, they don't accept this. And when you don't accept, there's a problem. So how do you use collaborative leadership? Whenever there are complex problems requiring technical inputs, use the technical experts. Wherever you want to make a change in the environment, in the organization, bring the experts. Wherever you want collaboration to be done, bring people like the leaders like us who can help out in bringing the cohesion between the teams, understanding the not only the performance and individual, but understanding the psychology. And then you give it. And you need to include innovation as part of it. But whenever there is a time pressure, avoid this. Whenever there is an unpopular decision to be taken, avoid this. Whenever the performance has to be measured, avoid this, because there somebody has to become directive, somebody has to become strong executive guy to make that happen, and it requires a clear decision making. A lot of people who have been with me during crisis, during other places where we could say trust building is part of life, has been actual support with me for both in the army and outside army. Let me ask you a very simple, humble question. You all rated yourself in your leadership status in the beginning of the session. My question is on the screen. Please answer as DSEC in the chat box to answer which style do you use most of the time. I request everybody to participate and say what are you using? What's your style? Most often, what do you use? Let me go to the chats and see. I'm getting good responses. Thank you very much. How to convince the leader when he is adamant. Prashanta, I'll take your point little later. C, E, okay, C, S. Thank you very much. Oh, I find Dr. Bula, heartiest welcome. She's an old colleague from Jaipur. Yeah, heartiest welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. And you are a strategic thinker. Wonderful. Well said. Umrav, thank you. Colonel Umrav Rathor is an old friend. Amila, Pramila, empowering. Very nice. Thank you very much for the inputs. But you see, irrespective of what kind of leader you are and what you are thinking, is that the right decision? Is that your right choice of the leadership? We will discuss that a little later. Let me go beyond to ask you something more important and share something more important. Here is a critical decision to be taken. The question is your dominant style the right style for your current situation? Bula is in academics. Pramila is in software. Ashwin sir is in industry, chemical industry. My friend Umrav is from army. So in current situation, whatever is your style, whether empowering, strategic or other, are you succeeding? Is your dominant style the right style where you are today? I have 4 new answers. It says yes, yes, no. So there is one no and all yes. Thank you very much for all yeses. Yeses take the cake. But is your style the right style? We will discuss this. It's a very critical question कि आपने बच्चे के साथ में डील करना है तो कौन सा लीडरशिप स्टाइल डील करोगे, और अगर आपने मेरे से बात करना है या अश्विन जी से बात करना है तो कैसे बात करेंगे? Will your style remain same? Will you still be strategic thinker when you speak to your son or your daughter or your class 4 employee or your shop floor worker? And when you speak to your boss, will you be using the same style? When you seek these questions and seek answers to these questions, you find the answer to yourself. Have I put you to thinking more? Have I brought the mismatch existing in your thought process? कि हर बार आपका चुनिंदा लीडरशिप स्टाइल चलेगा कि नहीं? क्वेश्चन मार्क. Every time the same style doesn't work. So how does it work? We will talk. And by the end of the session, I should be able to bring you to that. And therefore the mismatch problem. The directive style leaders, they are trying to innovate. Cannot. वो तो कल क्या करना है, क्राइसिस को, सिचुएशन को सॉल्व करता है. If he gets into innovation, directive will fail. When you have to tell your children, you have to be directive. And when you have to innovate with the children or the new employees or the new manager, you have to give time. That's a slow process. Innovation takes time. Will directive succeed? Ask yourself. Strategic leaders managing tactical issues or managing crisis. MD rushing to the shop floor every day, twice in a week, thrice in a week. Going and telling the workers how to do it. And whenever there is a problem, he rushes the first man to rush. Why मेरी इंडस्ट्री है, I am the CEO, I have to do it. I am the MD, I have to do it. अगर आप ही करने लग गए तो फिर बाकी लोग क्या करेंगे? और अगर आपने दूर की नहीं सोची तो कौन सोचेगा? You have to very critically say this. Empowering leaders with new teams. You have to, when you empower them, it takes a lot of time. And when you empower them, you further have to take time for running your own organization. And collaborative leaders avoiding tough calls. Somebody had asked a question कि वो boss मानता नहीं है, adamant है. You want a collaboration, but there is a conflict. How do you ensure? How do you do this? But if there is a tough call or a conflict, which of the other style can you use to resolve that? Maybe we have to look deeper into this. And therefore, your problem is not your style. Your problem is likely to be that you are using only one style for all situations. There's a need to rethink. Rethink that for a situation, a type of leadership will succeed. The moment situation changes, you may have to change your style. And therefore, every day when you go to the office, the style is changing with man to man, with situation to situation, with person, place, and situation. All three places, all three events, the leadership style changes. Do you have that flexibility to change? Become collaborative wherever you are, smiling and accepting. Be at ease when you are empowering. You don't have to be pushy and critical, crisis managing as directive when you're training others. And when you're thinking beyond, you can't be collaborative all the time. Wherever you need inputs, just take that input and continue to work on your strategic thinking. So what happens and which style should you use? I'll try and put into a frame. There are n number of leadership styles which authors, researchers, scientists, and thinkers have given out. I've just taken out four of them, which can be put into large number of frames and give you a aim is to give you a very fine way to think. So when there is a crisis, the primary leadership is directive. All others are too slow. Whenever there is a development, growth, the primary leadership requirement is empowering when you have to grow somebody. Team building, long term vision development is required, but it limits the speed. It cannot happen overnight. Whenever there is an innovation required, you have to be collaborative. That's the primary leadership that you should exhibit. You should take that in innovation. You have to take the ownership of failure or success of that innovation, and a large number of frameworks that you can use as a strategic leadership for this. But you can't become a directive guy in innovation. And when you are planning something, the primary leadership required is strategic. It also uses capability and collaborative inputs to plan a lot of things. But again, you can't be directive. Therefore, this slide can give you a lot more in understanding your perspective in your environment. And if you put yourself, खुद को लिख करके ना अपना अपना टिक अगर आप करते हैं, you will be able to exactly take out the points where you should be directive, where should you be collaborative, and so on. For more inputs, I'm there to help you, because that comes from my passion. With more than 35 years of service, commanding thousands of soldiers, officers, and having served in one of the most inhospitable terrain, with most inhospitable and flunky guys like terrorists and Pakistanis, similarly in the northeast, the passion has set in to grow people, that the way I have learned, they should be able to make use of it. I have trained military officers to all levels, and now I'm in the corporate doing the same thing. Two of my books are already out. The third one is in the pipeline, and the it goes on. It goes on. So let me grow. Take you to different scenarios. I've given you basics of all the four styles of leadership. You can apply them. I've given you a framework to think and work. Here is scenario one, practical scenario, that your best performer, leader or manager is leaving. आपको बोल दिया सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, अब यहां पे काम नहीं होता है, आई एम लीविंग. Which style of leadership will you choose? Please write your answer in DSEC in the chat box. One of the best performer is leaving. जा रहा है भाई, goodbye. Yeah. C. Yeah. B. Okay. 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 Fine. Thank you. There are more for B. But let's discuss it for a minute. Let's discuss it for a minute. But I have not specified कि वो कितने समय रहा, what has he delivered, what has he not delivered. I have not taken all those things into account. But he has been a best performer. He's been the best guy. All that he needs is what? Little encouragement. उसका पीठ थपथपाने का जरूरत है कि बॉस यू बीन फैबुलस गाय यार, ऐसा क्या हो गया कि तेरे को छोड़ के जाना पड़ रहा है, प्लीज टेल मी. ही टेल्स मी कि सर आई एम फीलिंग अनचैलेंज, आई फील अनचैलेंज्ड, आई फील द वर्क isn't good enough, The environment isn't working well and therefore I am leaving. So option is कि आप उसको बोलो भाई तू ऐसा करेगा, वो नहीं करेगा, डायरेक्टिव फेल होगा. इफ यू टेल हिम यार तू काम करेगा तो 3 साल बाद में हम ऐसा 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 कर लेंगे, अनलाइकली. बट इफ यू टेल हिम कि मेरे साथ बैठ, तेरे को प्रॉब्लम क्या है, अपन बैठ के कर ले, and we will sit and identify what are your challenges, what are your problems, and wherever you feel that you're not getting your due, I will give you your due. I will give you the very best. You need pay and perks, here it is. You need more manpower, here it is. You need more facilities and resources, here it is. After all, he is your best performer. Yeah, उसको नहीं दोगे तो किसको दोगे, कब दोगे? और उसके साथ कोलैबोरेशन करने बैठ गए कि भाई साहब आ जाओ यार, तुम्हारी वजह से हमारी कंपनी चल रही है, लेट अस कोलैबोरेट, ये वो ब्ला ब्ला. तो कहेगा सर मेरे पास बहुत जगह करने के लिए. सो you need to be more of empowering and using bit of other inputs from strategic and collaboration, very sprinkles of this, to retain this guy because he's your best performing guy, right? Okay, scenario 2, project is 2 weeks behind, client is angry. Which style of leadership should you be using? Chat, I see a fastest finger first. बहुत जबरदस्त. Oh, true, it's C. You'll empower. Option A. Thank you, thank you. If the project is already late, E, empowering. Okay, right. B, D. Okay, so there it's a combination of answers. If my work is getting delayed, जिस क्लाइंट ने पैसा दिया है उसको मैंने डिलीवर करना है, ही इज नॉट गेटिंग व्हाट आई नीड टू डू, देयरफॉर व्हाट आई नीड टू डू इज call, either go and start working myself or call the subordinate leader and explain to him ki boss, this project for which you are responsible is going behind like this, tell me what can be done, because I wanted this situation to be solved at the earliest. You give me the time frame, I will talk to the client and then we will have a meeting, and by tomorrow we should be able to give a timeline to complete this project and deliver it to the client. Whether it is 1 day, 2 days or 1 week, we will discuss it with the client, and by that time this work has to be done in whatever way you want. I'll give you what you want, and if you fail then I will personally have to come and do it. There's no other option because I am responsible for it. The way I am going about is very clear. Directive, टाइमलाइन सेट कर दिया है, फैसिलिटीज जो चाहिए दे दिया है, क्लियर डायरेक्शन दे दिए हैं, क्लाइंट से बात कर लिया है. सो इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर क्लियर, टाइमलाइंस आर क्लियर, रिसोर्सेस आर क्लियर. जस्ट गेट गोइंग. अभी सोचने की, प्लानिंग करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, एम्पावरिंग की कोई जरूरत नहीं. यू डू इट. इफ यू डोंट डू इट देन आई विल डिप्यूट समबडी एल्स और आई विल डू इट माई सेल्फ, because I have to complete it in the time frame that the client has been promised. We are already behind. Thank you very much for this. And I know people, I know this Mr. R.K. Singh, जो बैंक यूनियन बैंक के बहुत सीनियर बॉस हैं, while taking these leadership sessions with me, इससे सर क्या करूं, मैं जाता हूं तो खुद लगना पड़ता है, क्योंकि टाइमलाइंस है हमारे अकाउंट्स की, हमारे रिपोर्ट्स की टाइमलाइंस है. एज ए सीनियर बॉस इन द बैंक, आई कांट अफोर्ड टू डू दिस, एंड देयरफॉर आई फाइंड पीपल हु कैन डू इट. आई पुट देम ऑन द टास्क विद द टाइमलाइंस कि भाई साहब ये इस वक्त तक होना. Absolutely fine. Otherwise, he is a very relaxed leader who would do wonders. And therefore, when you look at yourself, where are you? Just think about yourself. That as a directive leader, do not micromanage. That's where the blind spot is. We don't know. As a strategic leader, don't start overthinking, or don't become tactical कि अभी करना है. When you empower somebody, when you take responsibility of growing somebody, don't abandon him or don't abandon her. See that that fellow is empowered in your company, he or she builds that trust. You build that kind of trust and it happens. And whenever it is collaborative, you can't avoid decisions. You can't avoid. Despite being collaborative, use other styles of leadership so that your blind spot is covered. When I do this scientific and exercises to sit with them and identify कि भाई साहब आपके blind spot कहाँ है, and we do that kind of instrument, and when you answer these instrument, you realize कि exact place and thinking and the spot where you have the blind spot. Just work on it. Therefore, it says intention is not equal to impact. Intention is there, all right, but for impact, you have to put yourself out of the blind spot and you should be able to see everything, then only it happens. The cost of blind spot. If you continue to maintain what you're doing and you don't understand a lot of things which should be done and you're not aware of this, a lot of good people will leave your organization. Innovation will start dying in your organization. Microsoft was dying till Satya Nadella took over and he brought in high potential people and innovation. He is the one who brought in the team spirit. And therefore, the team has to be so good and it has to become transparent so that you don't depend on one team for everything. Don't wait till you burn out. Majority of our corporates, leaders, they start burning out. Subah, they go early, come late, and their social life is in ruins. In the office, they are all working as of yesterday. How can you work that way? If you plan well, do well, use your styles well, and then structure it well, you are likely to do better. And if your blind spot continues to be there, the performance will become where it is, it plateaus. And therefore, what we say in the army, जो सबसे पहले पेट्रोल चलता है और आगे के जो 3 लोग होते हैं, एक सबसे पहला रेकी होता है, दूसरा नेविगेटर होता है, तीसरा कमांडर होता है. सो द मोमेंट देयर इज अ फायर, तो कमांडर पूछता है फायर कहां से आया. The first fellow scout who moves in the speed, he is the fellow who has to keep looking all around and he has to say कि sir fire तकरीबन इस दिशा से आया, so that you can fix it, you can take action thereafter. So in your corporate company, if you can understand where is the challenge likely to come from, and if you can see that, you can fix it. And therefore you have to remove your blind spot. You have to remove your blind spot. How do you do that? With a 3-step process. Simple 3-step process. We all generally know it, but do we do it? That's the issue. I encourage you all to do it. Just pause. What does the situation need? Whenever there's a situation, there's a person, pause for a minute. Just think over. क्या हालात है, क्या हो रहा है, ये क्यों आया है, क्या होने वाला है. And when you think all these things, everything gets flashed and everything is in your mind. Now having got the inputs, and if you don't have inputs, call for inputs. Then do the assessment. See what is the importance and urgency. You have that urgency importance quadrangle, I'm sure you all know. You have the experience. You know what goals to be achieved. You know what is at stake. So do that assessment. Or in military, we call it review of the situation. You do your review of the situation with that kind of situation. If there's a marketing problem or manufacturing problem, you should be able to understand and assess. And having done that, then you adapt a course of action in the likely courses that you see. ये करने से ये हो सकता है, ये करने से ये हो सकता है. Put it in down. Just think over 2 minutes. Get inputs wherever you want at the earliest and take a decision. And if that decision is right, compliment somebody who helped you the most. Don't take the credit yourself. And if it fails, then take the responsibility yourself कि मैंने decision लिया. Input आपने लिया, all right. But you can't blame somebody else कि वो गलत हो गया, because you made the decision. So you adapt to that. And if you can follow this 3 steps, you cannot go wrong. I assure you cannot go wrong. And to do this, you will require all 4 types of leadership styles that is there. And therefore, I use a framework called awareness, clarity, execution. Simple. I am saying again, awareness, jankari lo. Clarity, goals, KPIs. And then don't wait, then execute. And having done this, I give you a challenge for 7 days for your leadership role for next 7 days. Do it awareness in the present situation, wherever you're working. Identify your dominant leadership style. Ask your near and dear ones about your type of leadership, and understand where are you, where is the fault, and then start practicing the pause, assess, and adapt. And before you reach the interaction level, before you reach the level of results, do this practice of pause, assess, adapt. Things will go fine, and then start experimenting this. So if you do it first 3 days awareness, next 2 days practice, and then next 2 days experiment. Try with your non-dominant and try using other styles of leadership. It is only you who know. बाकी सबको थोड़ी पता है कि आपके अंदर क्या लीडरशिप है. आपका सबका असेसमेंट है ये तकरीबन ऐसा है, ये ऐसा है. बट इट इज यू हु इज टू चेंज. यू एंड वी कैन चेंज इंडिविजुअली. जब चेंज करते हैं, यू हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ योर कंफर्ट लेवल. बी प्रिपेयर्ड टू दैट. And if you need reminders for this, the 7-day challenge, all those who want to take this challenge, I can on daily basis give you challenges for your session for whatever you do for awareness, practice, and experiment. I can help you out on that. And that's the only way to master the senior level of leadership. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming close to the session. I'll take on questions and then go beyond. There were 2 questions which had come, so let me take those 2 questions. Meanwhile, if there are any more questions, I'll take on. The first question was how to speak the bitter truth to the authority of the situation happening at workplace when the boss is guided and controlled by his navel box. Keeping silence and tolerating injustice leads to negative. What is the solution? Excellent question. Excellent question. You see, the situations will never be same. Situations are always what they are. You just have to understand what is the dominant style of your boss and his boss, what is your dominant style, and then understand what style will work in your situation. And having done that, put this situation on a paper, write down the likely answers, and if you have to speak the holy truth, please do that. But in speaking the holy truth, you don't have to be very harsh or abusive to your boss. You can be as humble and as simple. We tried this experiment again. मिस्टर आरके के साथ में मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट ट्राई किया, प्रमिला के साथ में एक एक्सपेरिमेंट ट्राई किया मैंने. एंड आई टोल्ड हिम कि टू गेट अ पॉइंट अक्रॉस टू द बॉस, get out of this situation, get out of your bank, get out of your house, and then start looking at the thing from a different perspective. He invited his second, third boss, head of Punjab, to Batinda where he is working, and he organized a cricket match. Now, cricket matches, banking has got nothing to do. But that was the time he could informally speak with the bosses, and he could explain ground level situation. And absolutely, it happened. Things started happening. So you have to get out of the place, start thinking, bring a new fresh perspective, fresh water. How to convince the leader when he's Prasanta is asked, when he is adamant. I think the same answer goes for him. The leader is what he is or she is. It is you and me who have to make the best of it. Any other question, ladies and gentlemen, before I go ahead? Or you can keep writing the question. I will go ahead for a little bit. Somebody has written a point. A leader should believe in his team, hold their hands for whatever they do. Absolutely right, Umrah. If you are given the correct strategic plan to your team with the timelines, and if the leaders have been trained and empowered to achieve that, then you don't need to worry. You get worried because you have not put trust into them, and you're not given very clear instructions to them, so they start going where they want to or where their interest lies, and that we need to work on. So what I have is, I'll go deeper into what we discussed. I've given you the awareness, that awareness alone doesn't change your behavior or behavior of your boss. You have to practice. What you need is practice this assessment, personalize these strategies, take the accountability, and maybe guided practice in this field will help more than individually trying these and succeeding or otherwise. And therefore, I am open to giving you a free discovery session on your kind of leadership and what you can do. Normally it is 3K plus, but it's a free 30-minute discussion that I'm open to holding with you all. So anybody who's interested can take this call and book this session with me. I can do that. What I'll do is I'll do a complete leadership assessment for you, identify your one blind spot that is costing you, like somebody is troubled, and then I can help you out in that. Make a 90-day roadmap for you, and in that 90 days I assure you can change your dominant style to most suitable style. And most suitable style is what works, what actually works, and it is some combination of all of them. If you can do it individually, fabulous. Otherwise, I can help you plan a roadmap, you follow this and it happens. And I find out, discover if this coaching is your next step. If you require that kind of help, I'm available. I have got already some people. There were some 10 seats, 10 people who were available, and some spots are already claimed. There are some spots available which you may like to take on. And a Calendly link I shall share with you in the chat box. I'll share it with you and you can book the session. You don't have to pay me anything for this. So what I'll give you is a leadership style quick reference guide you can take on. You can take private LinkedIn community access, wherein you learn about more about the leadership styles and improve your own style. You can improve your own organization, your subordinates, and so on. And I can give you 30-day email support. Again, the link I'll give you in the chat box. We can follow it up. Right. This is Mr. R.K. Singh, who I was talking. He came to me for leadership growth for two purposes. One is that he's wanted to improve his entire area. He is responsible for almost 60 branches in Punjab of Union Bank. When he was doing this, I'm sharing this feedback with you. Let me know if you are listening. Please confirm if the voice is coming.
बट अपने ऊपर जो मेरे साथ जो जो आपने रिफ्लेक्शंस मुझे दी ना सर, इट वाज मतलब रियली बहुत ही मतलब यार ये मुझे चाहिए था, वो मिला मुझे. बस मुझे सर आपके सेशन से आई डोंट नो व्हाट विल बी द अचीविंग एंड व्हाट विल बी द ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. सब्सिक्वेंटली फ्यू मंथ्स विल बी काइंड ऑफ थिंग कि उसके एविडेंस बनेंगे. लेकिन अभी एज ऑफ नाउ मुझे जो क्लैरिटी चाहिए थी कि मैं तुरंत क्या बोलूं कि रोहित सर के सेशन से मुझे तुरंत क्या मिला, तो वो मिला जो मुझे आई वाज नॉट श्योर कि लेफ्ट और राइट. तो वो सर ने बता नहीं राइट जाना है, फिर लेफ्ट और राइट, तो सर ने बता नहीं लेफ्ट जाना है. तो वो लेफ्ट एंड राइट वाला जो हर सेशन में मुझे जो राइट, चाहे वो हम IPR से शुरू करें, EI से शुरू करें या लीडरशिप ट्रेट में आए, तो वो जगह मुझे सर मिली यहाँ पे करके. तो इसलिए माई ग्रीड और माई सेल्फिशनेस इज दैट्स आई वुड लाइक टू हैव अ मेंटर लाइक यू अलोंग विद मी फॉर द एटलीस्ट जब तक पॉसिबल है तब तक, जब तक आप इस टाइम स्पेयर कर पाएंगे सर, फॉर्मली और इनफॉर्मली बोथ वे सर. तो मैं बहुत ही आई एम रियली थैंकफुल एंड हैप्पी दैट्स आई गॉट यू एज अ मेंटोर. एंड जो मेरे अभी इमीडिएट डेस्टिनी इमीडिएट गोल है टू गेट प्रमोटेड वाला, उससे मुझे काफ़ी कुछ एक कॉन्फिडेंस भी आया है. एंड आई होप कि मैं आई विल बी श्योरली सक्सीडिंग इन दिस ऑल्सो, बिकॉज जो और सारी चीज़ें थी जिनमें एक बड़ी भूमिका रहती है प्रमोशंस में, जैसे GM सर की रिकमेंडेशन और RS सर रिकमेंडेशन की क्या है करके, तो उस एंगल से काफ़ी चीज़ें अलाइंड फॉलो हुई हैं करके सर. मतलब वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस डेफिनेटली, तो वो चीज़ भी एक अच्छी हुई है सर. बट अपने
So that is what it is. So your next steps could be book a discovery session with me, complete 7 days challenge, and stay connected so that we can continue to talk, continue to interact, and continue to grow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take this question, but it says great leaders aren't born, they are built. One conscious choice at a time. That is more important. One conscious choice. And if you make that choice of growing, developing, it will happen. It will happen. Right. So let me close this. Just I can take on the section. Kaushal. Oh, Kaushal is also joined. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you very much. We'll drop off. Thank you, Uma. Thank you very much, Umrao. Yes, Dr. Dhananjay. I'm open to discussion and talk. Anybody who wants to take.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Good morning once again to all. Actually, our participants are very less, but less means quality, and maximum means quantity.
Yeah.
So qualitative talk, and I am really speechless because in the brief short time, within the limitation of 10 or 12 members, you have elaborated, briefly elaborated everything, and I hope for others information, Jiban S. Rajput, his background is totally defense line. Very disciplined person, very senior person, very experienced person, and traveled a lot abroad. And his enriching experience is now going to help in the next generation for sure. And his voice, his words, we cannot learn anything, but we can live with him. His words are not for learning only, his words are for living only. So whether we are leading a school as a principal or college as a principal or a university as a vice chancellor or a army chief, forget about that. We all are self leaders. To how to lead our life also, that is another aspect. How we are leading our life 24 into 7, day to day, weekly, monthly, yearly, how we are progressing and observing and upbringing our own life. There is also leadership quality required. So we are born leaders. Just we are sleeping subconsciousness, we should rise to the level and learn from experienced persons' voices like Jivanes Rajput sir. So,
Thank you.
sir,
Thank you very
truly
much.
grateful to you, and your words are not for learning only, for living only. That is
Thank
my
you. Grateful.
take. And hopefully, those limited gathering, August gathering is here. They will spread your message to mass, and
Oh,
very soon, near future, you will send the mail, and if you will permit us, we can forward that mail to our
yeah, sure.
level in our groups. Thank
I'll
you.
share
Keep
the recording
continuing.
also. I'll share the recording as well. You can share it with them.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Anybody else who wants to share views, opinions, feedback, it will be a great help.
Yeah, I would like to say something. So I
Yes.
have been having some sessions with Jivan sir, and I would like to say that I it has really helped me a lot in understanding, like taking some decisions on time. So I was struggling with few issues. So Jivan sir's leadership skills has actually helped me a lot. In just 1 month, I would say it has really helped me a lot. In future, I would do great with Jeevan sir's help, I would say. So everyone should actually focus, like, if you could.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Pramila. It's very encouraging that you got out of that worst situation and now you're on the path of great
Right.
progress. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything will be
I see
wonderful.
a lot of change in myself.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
nice. So nice. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else would like to? Vijay has joined just now, I believe, but most welcome. Yeah. Prasanna, anything that you'd like to say? Yeah, Ashwin sir, आपके
Sir,
golden
yeah,
words,
sir.
please.
Sir, this combination of army discipline and army execution style with civilian execution style really will help to execute jobs. I have been directly or indirectly following this force philosophy. I was an NCC cadet in my engineering days. I was under officer. So a lot of things what you were talking about, I could correlate my major what he was talking then, and a
Wow.
lot of things I've been doing things. But I really appreciate your combination and mixture of both army discipline and army operation systems, and that I'll work with you on this for my execution and for my project execution practically, and would like your visit in my workshop and address my 500 people where you can tell them how to behave, how to execute the system. uh, I'll meet you on some day, sir, on that
Honor,
issue.
sir. Honor, sir. Honor. Thank you so much for the encouragement. I'll be very happy to support.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Grateful. Colonel Umrav, you being a leader yourself, like to share some feedback, some of your experiences. Are you there? Yes, he's there. Kaushal, you would like to say something? Hi, Colonel Umrav, please go ahead.
Sir Jai Hind. I had very long association with you right from childhood, and I have seen you growing from a child to a senior citizen like me right now. And the way you have changed from a normal child like me, coming from a village, we both are from almost same vicinity, and you have got up to brigadier's rank, and maybe because of few things you couldn't make it further, but overall I have seen you in all your peltons wherever you commanded the troops. They remember you like anything. It's all speaks about your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you very
not
much.
only this, once you were in Hyderabad doing your PhD and further degrees, your knowledge has enhanced like anything. And today, whatever you're doing, it's good for the society, for the friends like us, everybody. It's really enlightening, and we really appreciate it. All the very best, and definitely we all friends who they are they have joined today. We all will be spreading your this good thing which you are doing for the leadership.
Thank you
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, sir, for
Before you
giving me this
comment,
opportunity.
let
Yeah.
me comment on you before you say anything. Kaushal
Mm-hmm.
is one gentleman who's been my guide in technical learning. I'm an infantry guy who know nothing about technology, and he's the one who's taught me what is Instagram, how to go about very minor things. And I'm grateful to you, Kaushal, for
No,
teaching
no,
me
sir.
very good
It's
things.
obviously your modesty, sir. I'm no one to teach you. Like you have been the complete source of inspiration. Not just inspiration, sir. A true mentor, I would say. Uh, because like recently I've started like 2 3 years back when I was struggling. I started my corporate journey, and I was struggling on various aspects. Like everything was new to me. So I was looking for a mentor, and then I found you on an Instagram live session, and from there then like you have been there for me for every situation. I just think like, okay, if Raj sir would be in my situation, what would he would do? And from that point of view, I think everything makes sense to me now. So thank you very much, sir, for everything. And just for this session, right, as Ashwin sir rightly pointed out, that because of your experience on army, and you are putting out like how you point out all the little intricacies of that discipline, consistency, and everything, and you guide us on how we can apply all that on our corporate life. It's just amazing. So I have seen no one uh, with that clarity, and yeah, let's continue from
Thank
here
you.
after, sir.
Thank you so much. Very encouraging. Grateful. Grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you all very much. I really enjoyed interacting, and it was so interactive. Every one of you is phenomenal leader. Let's grow together. I've given you my link for Calendly and for LinkedIn in the chat box. Please enjoy that, see that. Yeah, thank you. So I've got 2 clicks and a lot of good friends. It was wonderful interacting, and thank you very much. Have a good, excellent evening, a great dinner, and all the very best. Bye bye. Take care.